you guys text, keep in touch this week?
No, we don't text really. Like during the season like that, it's more of an off season. Just because the life we live, we both busy. We both got a playbook, to constantly be in. But I'm always here.
What have you seen from the guy you'll actually go against, Mount Garrett, and how fearsome is he in terms of rushing pass?
Really good. Probably the best player that there is at that position. And he's proved that game in game out. So we got to do our job of not letting him affect the game. Just each and every play, try to keep a lid on it, and just got to continue to execute our plays. Just try to execute up and down the field.
Cam, knowing you and Shedeur, I was not on the field at the same time, but in the same building, does that add any extra juice? Given how much you guys used to always compete every day.
Nah, I got to go against the Cleveland defense, so it's not really into that perspective. It's more of what can I do for my team to help us accomplish our goal in winning the game.
I asked Colbert what the most competitive moment was with you guys, and he had said that before that game, you just stopped calling Shedeur. You said you weren't going to talk. From your perspective, would you say that's the most competitive moment, or what would you say it was?
I would say anytime both of us are in the room, we're always competitive. From just throughout college, even in the pre-draft process, we just both want to be great players. And I just think it's going to be exciting for, just a lot of people to see, what both of us will be able to do when we play at a high level.
What are your memories of interacting with Cleveland in the draft process, and how close did you feel like you were coming to being a Brown during that process?
I had great meetings with those guys, from ownership all the way to the head coach and the GM. They showed me nothing but love. And they got a great building, the people that I met there, and it was an honor to have them be able to pick me if it would went out that way. So I'm excited that I'm here. I'm excited that I'm a tight end. And I think everything worked out for a reason.
That first interaction that you and Shedeur had, if you could think back to that, what were the first things you thought of him when you guys started training together?
I think that both of us would just be great quarterbacks when it's all said and done. I just think both of us, have the ability to learn different offenses, different just aspects of the football, how you have to see the game. And I just think, just the things that we can do inside the building to help bring people together, I just think that's the best things about both of us.
And given how so many people would always say you didn't belong, they would say Shedeur didn't belong, did you guys bond over that during the whole process leading up to the draft?
Yeah, for sure. And there's going to be haters, whether you play good, whether you play bad. We both know that. But at the end of the day, it's really about, what we have to do individually and what we have to do for the building, to help put everyone in the best situation.
It's going to be really cold, windy up there. What's the coldest, windiest game you've ever played in before?
Probably about 5 degrees.
Where was that at?
Washington State.
How'd you do?
Pretty good. You get a little bit more grip on the ball in the cold. So it's gonna be exciting to get back in my element and just try to play football and help lead my guys.
What would a win mean for you, for the team, and for everybody's growth at this point?
I think the biggest thing it'll mean, and that we'll see with the win, just the things that we'll have to continue to do to lead to more wins. The growth that we make day in and day out. And I just think for the building, just a big boost to finish the season out the right way, how we want to.
I know you do a good job staying away from the buzz, but the city's kind of rooting for #1 draft pick again, so they can get more people to surround you with. How do you feel about that vibe?
Everybody got their own opinion. I control what I control. I don't make those decisions when that day comes. I control, throwing the football, leading the football team, and help, producing players on the field. So I just try to, do my part, leave all the other stuff to y'all.
Obviously, Garrett stands out, but what about the rest of Cleveland's defense stands out to you when you see one film?
I just think they firing on all cylinders. The secondary, they're very good secondary. The D-line, Mason Graham's a real good player. Linebacker core is real good. So I just think they complement each other real well. They really don't do a lot of just complicated stuff. They do the stuff that they're good at. It's helping them, be one of the best defenses out there. So we just got to continue to, harp on the little things that we got to get better at and execute versus those guys.
You got 5 games left in the season. Aside from winning, what would you like to see this team accomplish here down the stretch?
Winning. That's it. That's really the only goal. It's the only thing that I want to accomplish, that we want to accomplish. That's just winning football games.
What needs to happen for this team to make more game-changing, explosive plays on offense?
I just think we got to make the play. In the pass game, I got to throw guys open. I got to throw it, in their radius to catch the ball. And I just think in the run game, we just got to continue to finish, blocks, finish the runs, from the running back room. Myself carrying out fake. So, everything goes into every little, pass game or run game in the offense. We just got to continue to emphasize it and, play physical together and play, stronger.
In your opinion, why hasn't it happened enough?
I just think situations. You get a premier play to a perfect look that you want, and it could be pressure on it. I might not get to the right protection. So I think a lot of things goes into it, and that's why we haven't had a lot of those plays.
I know he was out one game there, but it's been a while since you and Alec really had your connection. What's kind of happened with him, with you and him, and what needs to happen for you to get back where you were kind of at the beginning of the season?
Just continue to harp on the little things from me and him. Doing a lot of things in the film room to, help limit just the bad plays by, him, myself, me putting the ball, in a good framework of his to, come down at the catch. Then me and him really just have to make the play. I think that's the biggest thing.
Cam, when it comes to you and Shador, do you see similarities in the way you've both had to navigate some adversity in the league as rookies so far?
I think every rookie's journey is different. He may have a good game this week, a bad game next week. I may have a bad game this week, good game next week. So you really just take it week to week. You play the play call, you live, the quarterback way of not getting too high or too low in any aspect. And you really just continue to try to, focus on what you can do. Because at the end of the day, I don't know what's going on in their building. I don't know what he has to deal with on a daily basis in and out of the building. So, I just try to focus, on the Titans and, doing what I can do to help us get the wins.
You
How
said
would you
Sunday.
how would you describe the nature of your relationship with Shador, and when was the last time you guys spoke?
Real good. He knows I'm here anytime. I'll probably say since the start of the season, the last time we spoke. But it's just more of, we know at the end of the day, if something going crazy, we know who we got out there in our circle. And just understand just the schedule that we both have to have. So, I'm always going to be there for my guy. I know he's going to be there for me. And I think the biggest thing that, we take for granted of is just being able to play the game healthy, being able to get out of the games healthy. And that's something that, that we blessed to continue to keep doing.
What you said
Take it
Sunday.
like the way the draft unfolded for him, with him continuously dropping, even though being one of the top quarterbacks. And did you reach out to him? And what did you say to him? As that was on?
Really, everything happens for a reason. God has a plan for myself. He has a plan for you. At the end of the day, you just got to continue to prove yourself right. And every time he steps on the field, I know he's going to, prove himself right. The same goes for me. So we just got to continue to stay in just the everyday mindset of getting better and not letting bad outcomes dictate the next day.
You said Sunday you have to lose to win. Can you expand on that and why you feel that way?
Just you learn a lot of stuff. You learn a lot of stuff from winning. Because even when you're winning games, winning hides a lot of stuff. When you're losing games, losing reveals everything. And you just got to fight that everyday battle of not, getting too high or too low. And I just think the more consistent you are just in the everyday process, it'll help you, as years go on.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.